What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. We've taken a nice little month break here. I'm feeling good. I'm really excited to be back here. Got some awesome topics lined up for us through the fall and the winter. Can't believe that we're already in November. Just wild. So I hope you had an awesome October. I got a lot of messages and emails during the break just saying that they missed the podcast. They're excited for it to come back. So just thank you guys for your support. I kind of like taking a break because it allows me to come up with new ideas. And this break specifically was because I was working on a new project. That new project is a new, I call it a mighty mini course. It's called the Confidence Edge. I'm really excited about that. It's been open for about a couple weeks now. So I'm really excited about that. If you want to learn more about it, it'll be in the show notes. But the big three kind of things in that course, I decided, I wanted to create something that could help people, in a really accessible way, in a powerful way. And so I was trying to think, what are the three most powerful things, or the three kind of biggest things that help me with my confidence, and also that I work with, the girls that I work with, what are the things that they tend to need the most help with. And so I distilled those three things down to your ability to embrace mistakes and failure. Number 2 is how to confidently prepare for games. And number 3 is navigating judgment, opinions of others, comparison, that kind of thing. So the 3 modules are broken down into those 3 topics. So if you want to learn more about that, link is below. So giving me that break, I had time to create something really awesome. A couple other updates since we had an episode back in September. I've been working with a lot of teams in October. Just had a really amazing workshop with a college tennis team that was just one of my favorites. At the time I'm recording this, I will get to go see them play tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that, to being able to see them actually play, put it all out there. A couple other updates. We will have some awesome guests coming up. The first guest will be next week. So keep your eye out next week. And then we'll have another guest. Our next one will probably be in December. That sounds like so far away, but it's really not that far away. And then the last update before we get into today's episode is, if you have any questions for the podcast, questions that you want me to answer on the podcast, there is a form below where you can submit your question. You can submit it anonymously if you want. It's just a quick Google form. So feel free, parents, coaches, athletes, to submit any questions, and I'll take those and use them for future podcast topics. All right, so let's get into today's episode. So this is a topic that I've been talking about a lot in my group coaching, but also with some of the recent team workshops that I've had in the last couple weeks. And that is how to recover from a dip in confidence, a dip in performance, and kind of just that slump, right? Where just nothing seems to be going right. You're not feeling great. Your performance isn't great. And I know that this can be a trying time. It's obviously a challenging time. So I want to dig into kind of the mindset and perspective shifts that are going to help you through this, and also some different strategies too. So first things first is realize that it's normal. Every single athlete, especially the higher levels you go, they're all experiencing dips in confidence, dips in performance. And so it's important to understand on a deep level that confidence, performance, progress, it's not linear, right? It's not just this straight line that's always progressing and there's no dips. That's not possible. It's not realistic, right? If I'm doing a group coaching session and I'll bring up my whiteboard and I'll draw a line where it's this is what we expect our confidence to look like and our performance to look like, that it's just always improving, always improving. But what it really looks like is more we have ups, we have downs, we have plateaus, kind of like the waves in the ocean, right? And so if you expect to always be getting always having a better performance, more confident, that's hard to say 3 times in a row, then you're going to be disappointed, because yes, you can get better every day, but you are going to have dips. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have bad games. You're going to have bad practices. You may have a week of bad practices, right? So confidence and performance is not linear. There's going to be ups and downs, and you just have to learn to ride the waves. If you can understand that, then when you are in those kind of down moments, you're not going to be hard on yourself. You're going to be able to give yourself grace, which is going to help you to get out of the dip, so to say. The other thing, so we're going to go through like a couple mindset perspective shifts, and then we'll get into some more tangible stuff. So the second thing is realize that it's not going to last forever. When you're in a dip, when you're at rock bottom, whatever it is, it's not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. The only constant in life is change, right? So it's this kind of principle of impermanence. No feeling lasts forever. No experience lasts forever. No thought lasts forever. You're going to go through highs and lows in life. And when you can realize that it's not going to last forever, you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? But when you are in this kind of deep, dark place, or maybe it's not like that deep and dark, but maybe you're just having a hard time, right? It can be easy to be like, man, like I'm going to feel like this forever. Like it can be really easy to think that because you're in that moment right there, right now. And it's like, okay, like this is what I see right now. But it's really important to kind of take a step back, zoom out, and realize, okay, have I ever felt sad forever? No. Have I ever felt happy forever? No. Have I ever felt nervous forever? No. So no feeling, no experience is going to last forever. So just realizing that and understanding that everything's impermanent can be a huge weight and pressure off your shoulders as you're trying to kind of climb out of that performance dip and start kind of playing your normal, consistent self. Okay. And then the last kind of mindset shift right here that I want to dive into is to understand that with every dip, with every challenge, with every obstacle, you're going to come out stronger, right? Like we can use like such a tangible, simple example with weight training getting stronger. The only way you're going to get physically stronger is by challenging yourself, is by, pushing the brink, is by actually challenging and adding resistance to the movement, right? To your muscles. And the same thing is true with life in general. It's like, if you look at, a lot of the quote unquote most successful people, they've had a lot of challenges, right? The most successful people have had a lot of failures. And I think it really is those challenges and those failures that make so many of those amazing people who they are, right? It's the challenges that gives you strength. It's the challenges that helps you build resilience. So when you're in the depths of in the canyon or in the valley of your performance and it's down, realize that, okay, I know this sucks right now. So you can acknowledge, okay, I know this sucks right now, not feeling great, but I know that when I come out of this, I'm going to be a better athlete, I'm going to be a better person, and it will all be for me. So instead of thinking like, oh, this is against me and what's happening, why is this happening to me? You can look at it like, it's not fun right now, but this is all happening for me so that I can become a stronger, more resilient person after this. So with those mindset shifts, like I promise you, if you just kind of start to like really take in what I'm saying and start to adopt those different perspectives when you're in those moments, it's not only is it going to make it easier to get out of them, but when you do get out of them, you're going to be even more strong. And it's going to make the time when you're in the dip a lot less miserable than if you were just thinking like negatively all the time, right? And so a couple kind of in addition to those perspective and mindset shifts, I want to give you some kind of reflection or like journaling exercise that you can do that I have personally done when I've experienced my own kind of performance dip or just, felt down and not myself. And it's really simple. So I encourage you to you grab out a notebook, and in that notebook, like lined, whether it's lined pages or not, but I what I like to do is grab a notebook and fill and cover the whole page with wins that I've experienced over the last month or a couple months, or even it could be the last year. So the wins could be just something that I did that I'm proud of, something that went well for me, something that was exciting, just a positive moment in my life. And I just kind of really start to focus on, hey, yes, I know that I'm not doing well right now. My performance is down, my confidence is down, but here are all the cool things that happen. Here are all the things that I can be proud of myself for. And here is what I can look back on and see how much progress I've actually made. Because when you're in the slump and when you're feeling down, it's really hard to see the positive. It's just like the only thing we can pay attention to is a negative. So by actively getting out a piece of paper and pen and writing it down, paper to or pen to paper, it's going to be very, very transformative. And then also you can use that paper, like whenever you're feeling, you had a bad day or whatever it is, you can go back to that and be like, oh yeah, I forgot that I'd done all those things. So that's something that I've personally done, that I have the girls that I work with do, and it proves to be very, very beneficial in helping them to climb out of it. And it doesn't mean that like when you write those things down, you're automatically going to snap out of it. Like, sure, it could happen. Anything's possible, right? But it may be something that you need to practice. And if you want to make this more of a regular thing, you could every single day, and I have the girls I work with do this every single night before you go to bed, write down like 3 things you're proud of, 3 good things that happen in your day, and just kind of build that growth mindset by ending your day with that positivity. Even if you didn't have a good day or a good practice, you can always find the good in it. And by doing that, it kind of helps to keep you positive, keep you confident, even despite the challenges that you're going for. All right. And then the last thing that I'll share is when you're in those moments, a lot of times you may feel like you're alone. You may feel embarrassed about what you're going through, that why am I going through this? I feel like I'm the only one going through this. So don't be afraid to ask, to talk to someone. Maybe it's asking your coach for feedback. If it is like a physical thing with your performance, ask your coach for feedback. But for the most part, usually slumps and these dips, usually it's more of a mental, emotional thing. But don't be afraid to talk to someone, whether that be a family member, a friend you trust, a coach you trust, a teacher you trust. But like, don't keep it bottled in. Don't isolate yourself, because when you isolate yourself, it can seem a lot harder than it needs to be. So be brave, be courageous, and open up and find that person you trust and be vulnerable with how you're feeling. And a lot of times when we just talk about how we're feeling, it's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't need you to tell me anything. I just needed to talk about it. And when you talk about it, it can be so therapeutic, but also there's this metaphor that I like to use, that it's hard to read the label from inside the bottle. So meaning when you're in it, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. But when you talk to someone, they may have a really good perspective, something that you haven't seen, that when you talk to them, they can kind of give you feedback and share that way. So I hope this episode is helpful. I just want to reiterate that no matter where you're at in your journey, no matter what sport you play, this can happen with sports, with school, just in general. Like whenever you're experiencing that dip, it's normal. It's okay. Life is about riding the waves. It's not like going up all the time. So you have to learn to thrive in the highs and, like work your way out of the lows, because the lows is what's going to make you stronger. The lows are what is going to build your character. So I encourage you, whenever you're feeling a bit of a low moment, to revisit this episode, do the exercises, and I promise you're going to get out of it. All right. I hope this was helpful. Again, keep your eyes out for the podcast. Next week, we have an awesome guest that I know you're going to get a lot out of. We had such an amazing conversation. And again, the show notes and the links in the show notes for the course and the question form, if you want to ask a question for the podcast, is below. So make sure you check those out, and I will see you next week.